My photos are some of my most treasured possessions. Reason for that is their memories. It's one frame of a second in time. I'm remembering stuff that I've literally forgotten. Gotcha. And I'm reliving that entire moment. I remember the smells, the sounds, everything that happened in that event, I can relive. You can't put a price on that.
Here they come, here they come.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Welcome to another fast-paced installment of Ducks Unlimited TV. I'm Ashley Ward. This week, we're headed to the Lone Star State with Field Hudnall and his longtime friend and goose hunting mentor, Carl Thilenius. We'll also learn why DU is working hard to keep rice agriculture on the ground in Texas and in other areas that are important for waterfowl. You don't want to miss this next on DU TV.
We're in Eagle Lake, Texas. In years past, Eagle Lake was to snow geese what Stuttgart, Arkansas is to ducks. It was the goose hunting capital of the world. And things have changed here in Eagle Lake. They don't get the snow goose numbers quite like they used to.
I guess about 4 or 5 years ago we had a water shortage here. LCRA is who provides most of the water for the rice around here. They get their water, it's stored in the upland lakes around Austin, and they depleted the source and the lakes got real low and they weren't able to sell water to the farmers. At that time, I think the Gulf Coast had somewhere between 35 and 40,000 acres of rice, and I think it went from 35 or 40 to about 6 or 7.
So yes, it's true. The snow geese do not come to Eagle Lake, Texas in the numbers that they used to. But that does not mean that Eagle Lake is no longer a waterfowl destination, because the ducks are here in the thousands, and that's why we're here. And as we're going down this levee, you can look up in the sky, and I mean, it looks like mosquitoes. Ducks are just swarming. The reason that we're in Eagle Lake, Texas this week is because of a longtime friend of mine, Carl Thilenius. So I know Carl well enough that he doesn't hunt anywhere where the hunting's bad, and he's not going to invite anybody to go hunting with him if he knows the hunting's going to be bad. So Carl, again, you don't disappoint, brother.
Get him right there, guy.
This duck hunt is absolute chaos, all right? As soon as shooting time hits, there's ducks flying everywhere. You come up, you shoot, and you mark your birds that you knock down. By the time you lean down to grab more shells, Harlan is saying, get them, get them, get them, get them.
Right here in front.
You know, and you look up and you've already missed an opportunity to shoot more ducks.
Somebody. Hey, y'all being too nice. Get after them.
It was constant, ducks coming in, ducks coming out. Oh man.
Cut him.
And it seemed like if you blinked, wow. These teal are coming in literally by like wads of 50 and 100. You would have missed a flock It literally happened that fast, and it was loads of fun.
Right here in front. Get him.
Nice shot.
Shoot the other one. There.
Oh, give me 5, Carl. I love this stuff.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Blades, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited, and Ducks Unlimited's Rescue Our Wetlands campaign, banding together for waterfowl.
I've been wanting to do some sort of a TV show with Carl for a long time, and the answer's always been no. You know, he said, you know, Field, that's not me. I want to do what I do, and I'm not looking for TVs. I'm not a big fan of cameras or anything like that.
Carl.
Get him.
There's he.
I love it. And at my brother's 40th birthday last year, Carl came up to me and said, Field, you all need to do a show in Texas. And I asked him, I go, are you gonna be there? He said, yeah, I'll be there. And I was like, we gotta get this scheduled before he says no.
Right here in front.
In all honesty, with the exception of my father, he's one of the most influential hunters to me in my life.
Coming right in the hole, Field. Got him, Field.
Ah, nice
recovery. Nice.
He changed my entire perspective on waterfowl hunting.
I get a little spoon bill action.
I was blinded by what I thought waterfowl hunting should have been, and he showed me what it actually was. But what I mean by that is how to be an effective hunter.
Well, when Field came in, you know, he was an excellent caller. Excellent, way better than I was. And he brought a lot to the table. Got him right there.
Get him.
As a young hunter, I was under the impression that the call was the magic tool. The call was what, you know, made the hunt or didn't make the hunt. So I focused on becoming the best caller that I could. So I went to Northwest Texas. You know, I was pretty inexperienced at the time, and I didn't realize it.
He came to me and was asking about a lot of my tactics.
Straight at you, get him, Field.
Here we go, right up front, right up front.
Nice.
There's he.
Nice shot.
I love it.
All right, brother.
Awesome.
That's the way to finish up.
I'm gonna
Didn't take us too long, did it?
that might have been one of the quickest duck hunts I've ever been on.
It'll take 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
Didn't take long.
You know, when the hunting's good, everybody does well. But there was times when a bunch of us young guys would come in and we got our butts kicked, in all honesty. And then here's Carl rolling in, and I'm sitting here thinking, how was this guy doing this, you know? And Carl, he didn't blow a call.
He was asking us how I set up, how I called, how I flagged, a lot of things that had a significant end result at the end of the day versus just calling techniques.
But he wasn't shooting geese because of the call. There was something else behind it. And I wanted to learn everything I could from this guy, Carl Thilenius. What I love about the guy is because if you say anything to him, he'll say, whatever, you're nuts, I didn't do a dang thing. But he did.
By the time he left, I'm not sure. He made me feel like the apprentice.
Rice is the world's most widely consumed grain, sustaining about half of the world's population. Rice is also important to Ducks Unlimited because rice agriculture has become a critical component of modern waterfowl conservation. Harvested rice fields contain waste grain missed during the harvest, as well as a variety of other duck foods. Many farmers flood rice fields in the winter for hunting, which can mean extra income if they lease their lands. These flooded fields create excellent waterfowl habitat. Rice agriculture provides many benefits beyond food production and waterfowl habitat. Key ecosystem services include nutrient cycling and soil health, improvements in water and air quality, managing water quantity, and providing cultural values through recreation and ecotourism. Some of our newest and most exciting conservation projects will focus on conservation of water and habitat in rice lands of Texas and Louisiana. These two states provide continentally important habitat for waterfowl in two of DU's top conservation priority areas. These initiatives are part of our new partnership with USA Rice Federation. These regional conservation partnership programs under the Federal Farm Bill will receive nearly $6 million and involve more than 17 collaborating partners. This funding and these partners will allow us to do some important work in critical waterfowl areas. That's good for ducks, for hunters, and for rice farmers. Find out more about our work with rice agriculture at ducks.org.
DU Insights is brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place at mossyoakproperties.com. DUTV is powered by Black Cloud Ammunition. Drop ducks like rain. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. And Mossy Oak Bottomland, the official timber pattern of Ducks Unlimited.
No matter where you go across this country, things always change. And things have changed here in Eagle Lake. Driving into downtown Eagle Lake, to this day, there's still remnants of how this town thrived off of the hunting business. Johnny's Sports Shop is to Eagle Lake what Max Prairie Wings is to Stuttgart. Harlan is the perfect guide, the perfect outfitter for Eagle Lake, Texas. He's been here over 30 years. He knows the area, he knows the farmers, he knows the farming practices, and more importantly, he knows the history of how these birds used to come here and how things are changing. I think when you have that many years under your belt of seeing an area change, you can almost predict what's going to happen next. And that's what makes him so good, is because he's always a couple steps ahead of the birds. If you look at a lot of products that hit the industry, a lot of those products are actually designed by longtime guides like Harlan, like Carl, like Matt, that simply have a need for something.
In my operation, we use these 6-wheel drive Polarises. We hunt out of some custom boat blinds that we designed, and
He came up with that design and built a form for these fiberglass boats, 16 and 20-foot lengths that have basically a bow on each end, if you will. Drag them with an ATV and get them right to the spot they need to be. Very, very efficient.
it enables you to go where you need to go. You're not trying to bring the ducks to you, you can go where they are.
He creates his own tools to make these hunts more successful. And these tools eventually find their way into the market as awesome products. So when you have a spot that has this many ducks on it and you had a great shoot and the ducks are still there, why not go to the same spot? And that's what we did. We decided to go back to the same rice field, but we hunted the opposite side. And it was a great setup when we set up. The wind was at our back, the sun was going to be at our back, we had a great hide, and as soon as the sun popped up, the wind just died. Variable winds can be really tricky for duck hunting, especially teal. These little guys are fighter jets as it is, when they're setting up in the wind perfectly. When you have no wind or variable wind, they're going to come from over top, they're going to come from the side. Right there. On this particular day, there was still a lot of teal, but it was a little bit slower pace, which I enjoyed because I finally got to talk to Carl and Harlan a little bit. Where I had the most respect working with Carl is when he would come in with a bunch of geese, he would make sure that none of the other clients saw it because he didn't want to make anybody upset. He didn't want to make any of the other guys look bad. He's just there to do his job. Right here on the right. Very cool. There in that Northwest Texas goose camp, he could have easily just said, everybody stay out of my way, I'm gonna do what I do and I'm the best at it. And I truly believe he is. But he didn't. He took me under his wing and I was able to learn and absorb what took him 30 years to learn the hard way.
So many memories.
I'm just glad too that, I was open-minded enough to see that and understand, all right, Field, open your mind, shut your mouth, it's time to learn. And that's why today I won't bat an eye at, teaching anybody anything that I know.
Carl, do you ever get tired of this?
Never.
And these teal will cost you to spin some shells if you're not careful.
You know, and here
we go.
Here we
Right
go.
on the right.
Here we go.
Big wad.
Nice flop. In the hole, cut them.
Very nice.
I was just waiting. They were dropping.
Oh man!
I got what was left.
Woo! That was fun right there. It is an absolute gorgeous morning, and we've got a very sporty little teal shoot going on. Keeps it fun, right up front.
Right up front.
Here we go.
Here we go. Cut him.
Carl has one more duck to shoot, so I'm sure a lot of people have been in this situation where he's in the hot seat, and but he's got the experience. He can handle it.
I'll be all right.
I got faith.
Here we go. Right on the right. I'll cut one of these. How about that?
Attaboy. Attaboy. It's like signing your name. I mean, you don't miss a lick. I love it. And that, as they say, is a wrap.
Great day. Great day. Got one more day left.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He sets other people up to be at the top of their game. He gives them the tools, the information, and more importantly, the confidence to do what they want to do. And that's a guy that I wish there was a lot more of them, but I'm proud to know one that's definitely out there.
DUTV is brought to you by Native Nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation. That's Higdon. Biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Intelligent firearms storage made by Secure provides closed captioning for DUTV. The gun storage game will never be the same.
The last few years have seen a big decline in hunting license sales, and that's something that should concern all of us. And it's also really important that every one of us try to take someone new hunting. If we all did that, the problem would be solved. And hunting lessons usually start with shooting lessons. I've taught a lot of people to shoot, and one of the things that I've learned is not to try to overwhelm them with information at the beginning. There's only so much that people really want to know or need to know. We preach safety, and it's very important, but it's also really important to keep it simple. And I keep my early safety lessons to 3 things. Treat every gun like it's loaded. Keep your finger off the trigger till you're ready to shoot. Keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Now there's a lot more rules and there's time to learn those rules, but those 3 will keep somebody out of trouble. As an instructor, there's 2 things I want to do for safety. One is I keep control of all the ammunition. It's right here in my pocket. I'm going to hand out shells one at a time. I don't let my student load the gun themselves. Don't let them have any ammunition. I want to make sure that I give them the shell, they load the gun, they shoot it, I give them another shell. That way, gun's never loaded when we don't think it is. And second, when I stand by somebody, they're right-handed, I'll be to the right about a step back and a step over, but close enough so that I can take the gun. If they turn around with a loaded gun, I can grab the muzzle without being in danger myself and also keeping people behind us safe. And always I try to keep the lessons short, and you want to end on a good note, keep it safe, keep it simple, and get someone new involved in the outdoors.
Duck Gun is presented by Black Cloud Ammunition. Drop ducks like rain.
I'm glad you told me to bring these. You know, you don't think much of this when you're taking pictures, and then you look back, how many of these hunts, you can't help but some of this to all run together.
Yeah.
And how many of these hunts would you just totally forget about?
Right.
Look at the water we used to have to trudge through before we had ATVs. Just
Oh,
go out
man.
there, just grind it out.
So from walking to 4-wheelers to 6-wheelers to Rangers.
Yeah, be tractors next.
Yeah, this hunting has changed a lot. You know, 25, 30 years ago, everybody had throw rags in a bag, and you carried them out there and draped them over the stubble, and the numbers were such that, you know, you were able to keep all the customers happy and everything was good. And just like with technology, with everything else, the decoys have gotten better and the tactics have changed, and sometimes, you know, better is not always the best. Sometimes you have to go back to the old stuff from 30 years ago. And
All birds will get used to certain techniques. And as a fad comes out, whether it's a certain type of blind, a decoy, whatever, if enough people get to using it, the birds are going to get onto it. Change and doing something different is as important as anything. Nice shot, Field. There was that sweater you were asking if I still had.
Yeah.
I still got it. It might be back here somewhere.
God, that was a heck of a field there.
You know, all in all, it's just spending the time out there and doing the legwork and figuring out where the X is and going there and doing the job.
It's hard to imagine me being where I am now from as small as what I started 30 years ago. And I surrounded myself around a lot of good people when I was young. And you know, I had people take me under their wing and really help me. And it was a blessing. This has all been a blessing for me. Like I say, it's to be able to spend all this time in the outdoors, months at a time, around all the good people I'm around. I just, you know, I couldn't ask for anything more.
The truly accomplished waterfowler is always learning, be it from the experiences of like-minded peers, the teachings of true wildfowl sages, or lessons occasionally retaught through the actions of rank beginners. We were all new to this at one time. This is sportsmanship, one of the waterfowler's ultimate legacies. Special thanks to Carl and Harlan for sharing their wisdom on this episode. For all of us at DU, we hope to see you again next time on America's favorite waterfowl adventure and online at ducks.org.
Intelligent firearms storage made by Secure provides closed captioning for DU TV. The gun storage game will never be the same.